Full name's Lee Priest McCutcheon. I was born 6th of July 1972 in Newcastle. That's like 2 hours north of Sydney in Australia. I started training at the age of 13 and I won my first free contest when I was 13 years old. At the age of 14 I got third in the men's open. At the age of 15 I won a few state titles and local titles. At the age of 16 I took a year off and trained just heavy, and come 17 I won the state title. Won the overall Mr. Australia, got second in the universe. Then my mother started training and we won the couples together. Then at 18 and 19 I won the Mr. Australia again, then turned professional when I was 21. Winning the Mr. Australia overall, I won it 3 times, but when I won it the first time I was 17 and I won it at 18 and 19. They said I was too young to turn professional, so they wouldn't give me my pro card till I actually came across here and Jim Mannion seen me and spoke to Wayne. Then Wayne rang Paul Graham back in Australia, then they gave the go ahead for the pro card. That was in 92. I was 21, just turning 21. I was 21 when I done my first pro show in Niagara Falls, so it was in 92. Yeah, it's pretty good, different being my first pro show. I placed 9th. A lot of people said I should have placed higher, but you know, being the sort of new kid, no one sort of knew who I was, so it's easy to get overlooked when nobody knows you. So then the following year I placed 4th in the Ironman, so things started moving along a lot better since then. Yeah, I don't really have a memorable one. I sort of like doing all the shows, so like placings never bother me, so whether I place 9th in a show or like getting 2nd in the Ironman or like 5th in the Olympia or you know, placing 3rd in some European shows, to me placings don't really matter. I just enjoy competing and enjoy training mostly, so whether I was to place 9th or place 2nd or win a show, as long as I'm in my best shape and I can do all I can do well, you know, and just enjoy the show, so they're pretty all memorable. So I sort of qualified for it 2 years ago when I did the Ironman. I placed 3rd, but then I sort of was going to step out of a few shows which Joe Weider said I could do, but then Wayne sort of didn't see it that way, so I got suspended, so I couldn't compete in the Olympia then. So then I just sort of trained hard and then came back this year and qualified again and did it this year. But I should have been in it 2 years ago, but I got that suspension, so I didn't do it then, so this was my first one. It was good doing the first Mr. Olympia, sort of. You know, people ask me was I nervous, but to me, you know, all contests are just as hard. It's just that the Olympia got the sort of the best in the world there, so you know, I was just hoping to make the top 10. So after the final placings, like they give me 5th and Paul Dillette 4th and Kevin Leverone 6th, but then a couple of hours after the show they changed it around and said I was 6th, Paul was 5th and Kevin was 4th, which, you know, no one sort of agreed with anyway. But you know, I was happy to get the top 10, but then to get in the top 6 was even a bonus. So, but if I had been given 6th first of all, I wouldn't have minded, but to get 5th and then have it taken away and be given 6th, it's sort of discouraging. But I got a certificate at home here on the wall that says 5th place, so as far as I'm concerned, I got 5th place.
Your arm workout, that's it.
Perfect lock. That was a great rep. Wow.
Take our up on it. Come on. Yeah.
Now you got 2.
Show Ira.
Right.
Yeah.
Reps. Yeah, one more.
Let's show. Let's show. Come on, lady.
Shit's got another one.
Thank you for the information. Thank you very much. The hands are cold. Thank you. You're welcome.
Stretch. Squeeze. Big stretch, keep the bottom, come on. Perfect. All the way down. Good. Excellent. Up. On the bar. Very good. Get up. Squeeze. More. On the negatives, I'll get somebody. Up. 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 Control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, ready, hold it. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. All right. Everything you got.
So the bodybuilding, sort of, probably like everyone else, I always looked at Arnold because he was the most known, but then I sort of didn't, because Arnold was so much taller than me and I knew I'd never be that tall, I sort of couldn't really relate to his body type, so I sort of started liking people like Tom Platz, anyone that was sort of freaky, Sergio Oliva, who had the big arms and just that thick, dense looking bird or fox with all that thick muscle. And then it was like, I always liked Tom Platz, at least one that looked like that, but then as things went on, I sort of like Eddie Robinson for his freaky legs and arms. But if I was to say at this day who I liked the most, it'd probably be like, probably Mike Matarazzo's arms and calves because they're so freaky, but yet one overall would probably be like Paul Dillette. I really like Paul, he's a nice guy. We get on really great, and that's the sort of thing I like. It's sort of sometimes hard for me too, because still being young, all these people I compete against now, they were sort of like my heroes and idols I look up to, and then now, like, I even told Paul when I do these shows and sometimes I place ahead of him, I feel bad because there's nothing worse than sort of placing ahead of someone you've looked up to, and sort of I wouldn't care less if I came 10th to all those guys because I still look up to them because I've always admired them. So if they placed ahead of me at every show, I wouldn't care. I'm just happy to compete on the same stage as him or anyone else. So, you know, people always say things about Paul, he's, you know, hasn't got shape. But when you look at Paul, here's what I think bodybuilders should look like. You know, he's got that freaky cartoon look about him. You know, he's got those big shoulders, big arms, tiny waist, huge legs. It's like when I started bodybuilding, that's what I thought bodybuilding should be. And you have all these people saying, well, that's overdone. You know, you shouldn't look like that. You've got to have this pleasing physique. But yet, those people who say that, they're the ones who normally can't achieve it. So that's why they say it. But if anyone had the chance, they'd probably all want to look like that or have that freaky look, because that's what we all aim for. When you look at cartoons these days, look at action figures, they've all got that freaky look about them, that sort of muscles bulging out everywhere. So that's what I hope to achieve myself. I want to, people say I look like that now, but to me, I'm not satisfied. So as long as I'm not satisfied, that always makes me train harder. So, you know, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm just going to try to get the freaky look, and You know, sometimes when I look at Paul, I think, you know, there's no way I can look like that. But then sometimes I think, hopefully I can. So, you know, I'll see what happens. But they're the sort of people I look up to now. Paul, Mike Matarazzo, like Aaron Baker's got a great sort of freaky physique, I think. And anyone that's normally freaky with body parts, like I admire Chris Cormier, Flex Wheeler, but they got the nice shape and they got nice muscle mass too. But you know, it's like those the physiques like Flex and them I really admire. But to me, I could never look like that because I haven't sort of got that body type. So I've always gone after the freaky type. Whereas I still respect all those guys for what they've done with their physiques. But me personally, I like the freakier type. So that's why I always try and look like I picture like the cartoon characters or that Max Rep you see in the magazine, something like that that looks just that freaky. So when people walk past, they sort of stop and look, and you know, they sort of can't believe what they see. So that's like my ideal of a bodybuilder is just that freaky look about them where you can't really believe they don't look human. So that's what I want to look like eventually. I've always liked Superman ever since I was little. You can see in this picture here that says Destiny. This was me about 3 years old in a Superman suit. So I don't know, I've always liked him because I always just liked the strength and that he had. And I've always liked the TV show when I was on the black and white one. So when I came here, there was so much Superman stuff, like the jewelry I've got and different things. I got like 15 different watches and all the stuff around here. I've probably got thousands of dollars worth of Superman memorabilia downstairs, upstairs, Superman bedspreads, towels, everything. So it's one of those things. Whenever I go out, I just collect it because I like it. But you know, it's just one of those things I've always liked him from, like the strength and that. When I was younger, every year until I was about 10, I used to have a Superman suit made for me. So I think I'll get another one made. But it's just a thing from when I was young. Some people like Batman, some like other characters. I always like Superman. So I think it's one of those things where you're young when you think you want to be that strong and you want to fly and do everything else. So I don't know, I still just collect it all. When I go out to places I see it, so I pick it up, and I've got so much Superman clothing and that, so it gets to the point where I'm sort of wondering why I'm collecting. It's one of those things where people say it'll be worth money one day, but it'll probably be worth money when I'm 80 and I can't spend it, so I just keep collecting it because I enjoy it. So it's one of those things I just keep doing and spending money, and I don't know, I'll be broke but I'll have lots of Superman stuff. Today, 2 more days and I can go back to normal eating, normal life until the Olympia. along now. 1 week to go. 3 weeks before I can eat. I'm counting the eating days.
Squeeze.
But it's cold.
Yeah, it is cold.
It's cold out.
Word.
In the off season I train like just once a day. In the mornings, normally around 7 o'clock for like 2 hours. I do one body part a day. Like Monday I'll do legs, Tuesday I'll do back, Wednesday chest, Thursday arms, then Friday maybe shoulders and maybe some hamstrings again or some calves. I normally do calves every day, but just one exercise, 8 sets on that exercise. And my training's normally always been the same since I started. I do normally 20 sets per body part, sometimes more for legs, but it's always been 20 sets, like 4 different exercises or 5 different exercises, 4 to 5 sets on each, heavy as I can go, 6 to 8 reps. In the off season I don't do too much cardio work, so I'm trying to put the weight on. I do it 3 times a week, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time. Come contest times when I start doing more cardio and going to train twice a day, and I break my body groups up when I'm getting ready for a show. It's sort of, normally go by how I feel. Some days I'll do chest and biceps together, shoulders, triceps. Always do legs by himself and then back by itself and then just swing it around and do it again. But then some days I might do chest and back superset. So contests I normally go by how I feel, but I always do 2 body parts, one in the morning, one in the evening, plus cardio twice a day. Sometimes 3 times. I do like 45 minutes in the morning on a bike. Come night time I do 45 minutes on a Stairmaster or treadmill or bike again. And sometimes during lunchtime, mid-afternoon, if I get bored, I do the bike for half an hour again. But normally contest training sort of doesn't change from my off season. I still train the same weights heavy. Some exercises you have to go a bit lighter because you've lost a bit of body weight. So something like a bent over barbell row, you haven't got the body weight to counteract the weight you're holding, so to save injury. I go a bit lighter on those, but it stays the same all the time. 20 sets, 6 to 8 reps, no matter what, whether we get ready for a show or off season. I just change the frequency of the training more. Yeah, like contest time and off season, I sort of keep the exercises the same. I'll always stick to the basics all the time. Like for chest, for instance, I might do incline dumbbells, flat dumbbells, flies, and then some dips. In the off season, come contest time, the only thing I change different is I might throw in a superset with dips and cable crossovers. I just throw in some shaping exercises. But the basic ones still stay the same, and like for chest and weights in the off season I might go up with 200-pound dumbbells. Come contest time I still got the strength to use the 200-pound dumbbells. Same with legs. When I'm doing legs in the off season I stick to squatting, extensions, heavy leg presses. Come contest time I'll throw in, I'll do more extensions, sissy squats and lunges. Like my best squats have been 7-8 plates a side. Come contest time, like this year, get ready for Olympia, I was still doing 7 plates. I did 8 plates once, but then it's just like a mental factor. I get start to worry about getting injured, and I don't want to get injured before a contest, so I sort of pre-exhaust my legs and do the extensions first, leg press first, do squats third or fourth. That way I only go 4 to 5 plates a side. But normally exercises never change. I just throw in a few shaping ones on each thing, but I always stick to the basics through the off season, through contest time as well. And the weights always stay heavier, as heavy as I can go. And normally, I've always been a believer in training by feel. If I feel strong one day, I'll go heavy. If I don't feel strong, I won't push it. Whereas some people, they do bench press one day, they might bench press 3 plates. Next time they go to bench press, they're on 2 plates and they're, struggling and can't get the bar up, but yet mentally they want to go 3 plates. So when they do, Now the body's not rested, it's not recovered, so they normally get injured. So it's best to go by how your body feels, and if you don't feel like going heavy and you can't do it, don't push it, because you're only going to get injured that way. When I first did my first pro show in 92 in Niagara, I weighed 179, 180 pounds. And then after that show, I always told, like, Irvin Gill, one of the photographers, you know, next year I'll come in 10, 12 pounds heavier, and they're like, oh, you can't put that much weight on. But the following year, I came in at 190, 191, and I still wasn't happy, so I told him again, you know, next year I'm going to be 10 pounds heavier again, and he sort of, I don't think he can. But the following year, I came in around 199, 200, 201 pounds, and the following year I weighed in at like 214. I was 214 at the 97 Ironman and 97 Arnold, but the Olympia, which was only a couple of months later, 4 or 5 months later, I weighed in at 220. So each year I've always put on roughly 10 to 12 pounds, because in the off season I really believe in, like the olden days, really bulking up. I eat a lot of high fat foods, still eat good foods, but then if I crave McDonald's, if I crave Kentucky chocolates, ice cream, I eat it. I don't sort of worry about it in the off season, because I just want to put size on. Last off season I was 275 pounds, and everyone was saying, you know, you won't get in shape, you're too heavy, you know, it's going to be too hard on your heart. And like, I get my blood checked all the time, and in the off season when I'm eating all those bad foods, my cholesterol's only 113. Like the average is 200, like the doctor said it's the lowest he's ever seen, and everything else in my body was perfect. So a lot of it's got to do with hereditary. You know, I know people who eat healthy salads, watch what they eat, they train, but yet their cholesterol skyrockets and they have a heart attack, whereas I've seen people drink, smoke, eat bad food and live till they're 90. So it's one of those things, you know, you just go by what works for you. And like last time I got the 275, people said I wouldn't get in shape, but yet come these shows this year, all the ones who said I couldn't get in shape, they'll come to ask me what did I do. So, you know, it's one of those things, if you put your mind into it, you know, it's only weight, you can lose it pretty quick by doing cardio. A lot of it's fluid weight, but this year, before the 98 Olympia, I'm going to try and get up to 300 pounds in the off season. Hopefully compete in the high 220s, 230 at next year's Olympia. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, after like the Olympia was about a month and a half ago now, I did the European tour. Right now I'm about 246, 247. Sort of just start letting, I always sort of just take it easily so the stomach and that gets used to the different foods again, because, you know, breakfast now, before when I was dieting, was like cream of rice, protein drink, and maybe some apples, and that was it. But now breakfast is like bacon, eggs, sometimes steak, Cocoa Puffs or Fruit Loops, toaster strudels, milkshake, and then maybe some chocolate pudding. Then I go to the gym, so sort of just going to change the stomach around to get used to the foods. But then some mornings I'll have a healthy breakfast, and then after training I'll have like steak, rice and eggs still. But then during the day I'll have McDonald's, Kentucky, Chinese for dinner. I'll have another steak. So sometimes in the off season I have 2 to 3 steaks a day, and I always like drinking full cream milk in the off season. I mean, getting ready for shows I'll have low fat milk, but off season I prefer the full cream milk, ice cream. You know, it's one of those things in the off season I just sort of, I don't really worry about what I eat, whereas some people, yeah, because wherever I have a McDonald's hamburger, sure, it's got it's super high in fat, but yet it's still got protein, it's still got carbohydrates in it. You know, it's got all those things in that I need, just that the fat content's so high. But in the off season I'm not worried about it. So as I sit down, I always notice too, you look back to the old days where guys did the basic training, they ate those sort of foods, they all had that dense, thick muscle on them, whereas guys these days, you see some, they have great physiques, but yet it's just not that real dense look like Sergio had, Bird or Fox had, Arnold had. All those guys had that real deep looking muscle that looks solid, like they've done the foundation work, whereas guys these days, you see them at contest time, they look good, but yet when they stop training, a lot of it just disappears. So I like those guys who do the heavy work and always like the sort of, a lot of powerlifting movements, but yet they just have that heavy foundation work. I want you to get this muscle in the hands here. Look. This is a good muscle.
Stand right over here just for a second. The light is good.
And these are just some of the Superman stuff I have. Like, this is the very first Superman comic book cover, the very first one that come out. And this is just other stuff. This is from toys are from Burger King. I had to eat lots of hamburgers to get them. This is just a figurine. Swimming pool, floaties, which I decided to stick on the wall. Superman fan. Half a Superman costume for when I'm out of shape I can wear that and have the abs. But all the other stuff is like bowls, costumes, collectible cards. I found this one in an old clothing store. It's the very first like Superman lunchbox and drink flask, and some of the toys are recent, some of the older toys from the early days, and all the cups and different figurines. And I collect a lot of the pictures like this and the plates, which are all like limited numbers. They're only like 200, 250 of them, like these figurines here, and the black one over here, and keychains, wallets, little Superman basketball and yo-yos and everything else. And then just man business card holders in the shape of a briefcase, earrings, necklaces, cufflinks, ties, socks, underwear, boxer shorts, dress shirts. This is the secret of Superman. See that? Kit Kats and chocolate covered almonds. That's the training secret. And this is my cat. This is Lex Luthor. Hello. It's a living. Look at the Superman figurine. People think I'm obsessed.
Come down just a little, right there, yeah.
That's it.
Good squeeze. Squeeze. Good. Perfect. Good. Control. Yes. Excellent. Come on up.
Stick an electric cable in and then drain it along with his energy there.
It's a mental thing personally. It's like when I train at World Gym, people say that gym's too quiet. How do you train there? You need motivation. But you know, motivation comes from within as far as I'm concerned. Like, I could train anywhere as long as I got weights and that's all you really need. You know, music doesn't motivate me. It's like one of those things, as long as deep down inside you know what you want to achieve, you can train anywhere. So
See that. Good. Beautiful. That was a good shot. Great. How are you?
I think bodybuilding's made a difference for me because coming from Australia, I never really dreamed I'd ever go to America or any other country. So doing that, then coming over here to America, having an opportunity to come here, meet different people, You know, even like training at Gold, you get to even meet the movie stars from movies who I never thought I'd meet. You know, sure, you know, bodybuilding's not as rich as some sports, but you know, it gives me a living where, you know, I can afford rent for the place, I can afford the cars, I can afford the food on the table, so I can't really complain about much. But you know, if you try and compare it to football, basketball, sure you're going to get depressed because they're in the millions, but I reckon as long as you've got a place over your head and food on the table and clothes on your back, you're not too bad off. So to me, it sort of helped me out that way. Plus with the European tour, you get to travel to all the other European countries, so it's one of those things. Bodybuilding sort of helped me see the world, meet different people, you know, all ages, all races. So I really enjoyed it. Like, I've still probably got another 5-10 years to go, so hopefully it'll only get better, and maybe the prize money might go up. So we will be up there with the other sports, but you know, I can't complain. You know, anytime you can sort of just train, eat and sleep and do what you love doing, get paid for it, it's not a bad job. So I'm not one to complain about it. Like when I first started training, I was, like I said, 13. I was actually 12 just before I turned 13. And I always did the basics like the squatting. I probably only done like 3 exercises like extensions, squats, leg press. For legs, chest would have been bench press, flat, incline, decline. And like back would have been chins, pull downs, and like a rowing movement. But I always trained heavy for like such a young age. Even when I was 13, I'd be squatting 3 plates, 3.5 plates, and people always worried that's going to stunt your growth. You know, you might hurt yourself. But I'm sort of the tallest one in my family. My mother's only 5'2", my sister's about 5'3", my mother's father's about 5'2", so it wasn't really going to stunt my growth. I didn't come from a tall family, so that's one of the things. As long as, even though when you're young though, you still have to watch it with the weights. You know, as long as you can handle a weight that's right for you without cheating. You see so many people trying to lift too much weight and they're cheating and they're not doing exercise properly because they're training, you know, their ego more than their muscle. It's like, you know, how much weight can you lift? Like, it's not a matter of how much weight you can lift, it's how you lift it. So when I started training, I always lifted heavy for my size and weight, but I reckon, you know, young kids, if they're going to start training, just take it easy, have someone watch them, so you do the exercises properly and not worry about the weight too much, just go through the movement. If you're squatting like 1 plate and you feel a bit stronger, you know, just add a 5 to each side of the bar. You know, you don't have to put another plate on, add a 5 1 month, the next month add another, put a 10 on. So as long as you gradually build up and keep adding weight, the muscles will grow. But just, you know, bodybuilding is a long-term sport. People want to get into bodybuilding and they want to, you know, get feeling at a sort of time. I've been training 6 months, 8 months, nothing's happening. What am I doing wrong? But you know, bodybuilding takes years, so it's one of those things. If you're going to stick at it, stick with it. You know, some years, some months, you might not see anything change. Your weights might not change, your body weight might not change. But then if you just keep persevering, next month it'll probably kick off again. So one of those things. Just give it time and, you know, take it easy, train hard, and you know, it will happen, but it just takes time.
This is the fun part. I got like 2 more days to the Arnold Classic. Hopefully, you know, I don't even say hopefully, I just go to the show and come in the best condition I can come in. You know, I don't really worry about what the judges place me, so I know I've done all I can do. So in the following week after the Arnold, I got the San Jose. You know, I've qualified for Olympia. That's what I really wanted to do, was get the Olympia this year, which I've qualified for. So after the San Jose, I'll have 3 months to eat what I want, all the junk food which I enjoy eating, and then come July I'll go back on the diet for the Olympia. So 1 more week, there'll be no more cardio, no more chicken breast, no more rice. There'll be chicken, but it'll be Kentucky, and there'll be rice and it'll be fried. So I can't wait to change it around. You know, it's just not like, getting ready for the contest is good, just that your whole life you got to eat at a certain time, train at a certain time. You know, I enjoy it, but it's nice just to go and do something without having to take your meals with you or be home at a certain time to eat. So it'd be good to go back to being normal for a while. Well, what's sort of normal anyway. When that judge said I had no delts.
So, yeah, you know. Can you imagine that?
I think it's time the judges got judged.
Yeah. I think judges should get fired.
I just want to know, A question for all you people at home. Have an audience of say 1,500, 2,000, 1,800 can get the placings right. 6 people down the front fuck it up. One judge said I needed more delts to make me look wider. But then again, they can say someone's got pleasing shape like Flex, which you got to have fantastic shape and be in shape. So, you know, it's one of those things. Everyone's got their own opinion of what the body should look like, but you know, but people can clearly see when someone's in shape or out of shape. So
That's right.
the judges need to be judged or show their score sheets. You know, I don't care really anyway. I'm just when I compete for the crowd. You know, as long as the crowd's happy, I'm in the best shape I can be in. Well, that's all. What 6 people down the front think of me doesn't really bother me. You know, like even if I wasn't getting paid to do this, I'd still do it because I love the sport. It's not the money that makes me do it. So I could come dead last as long as I look good and the crowd's happy. Well, that's all I'm happy about.
The crowd knew who won that show.
That's right. Besides, you ask my mother and grandmother, they'll tell you I'm the winner.
Somehow.
That's where you eat.
The eggs sunny side up
Oh,
and the hash browns.
hash brown.
That's a secret. That's just eggs and steak and rice. Because now the contests are over, I can eat out more, which is more fun because when I'm dieting for shows, I have to eat at home every day. So now I'm out. Normally, breakfast was the burger and fries, but now, because the camera's here, steak and rice and eggs. Just for show, but if you're ever in the Venice area, this is the place you've got to come and eat at the Beachfront Cafe. It's just 10 feet to the beach. This is the place to come and eat.
Okay.
Banana smoothie with protein powder. Just extra protein again. The only thing I haven't got is the butter. Ah yes, butter on the toast. George! What's happening, George? Nice to see you. It's true.
That's right.
Look at the huge selection of vitamins and clothing.
Pharmaceutical nutrients. Health.
Look at it all. Come have a look. Come have a look. All the photos along the roof of people that come in here. This is where they all come. 3015 Main Street. All the clothing, more supplements. This is George, the owner. What's up, Lee? George, the owner, and Tony, the guru. Tony knows everything.
Vitamin man.
Yeah. So this would be like LA Urban Wear will be one of the major outlets for the sale of the video. You can come pick it up here. But if you're already watching the video, you probably already got one, so tell your friends to come here and pick it up. That's a good one, isn't it, Tony?
Get into your shorts.
Yeah.
Ira.
I won't sit down, you fool.
Ira's in my picture.
Okay, kid.
Okay. Double arm. chest. Squeeze.
The next was palms forward.
Okay.
Next, we're going to put the palms facing each other. Make sure you feel it in there. One person. The whole village in there. Exactly. It's a whole
Get the crystal street, there you go.
feeling it together.
Yeah, I looks like that.
That's what I thought.
Good. Double arm.
There you go. They can't do that. It comes natural to you.
Crunch. There you go. Good. Okay. Flex that tricep. There you go.
He goes home to Morse. Today I'll be stronger, damn it.
Give me Sergio pose.
This is
Was that a bowl of Jello? The calves. The calves. That's a good one. Bring it down. The foot forward.
shut up.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
There obviously is a relationship.
You like that? You like that love-hate relationship?
Did you get the
Oh,
striations
yes,
in
you
his
got it.
bicep?
That's
Artie got him.
I didn't get a good shot of it.
Hold it. Squeeze.
as exciting as the muscle in the hand, see?
Yeah,
Do you think on Monday, if it's warm enough, you
freaky
could
thing in
train
the
with
world?
shorts?
One more show to go. San Jose. Don't have to put any more of this garbage on the skin. It'll be enough teen for tonight, won't it? Ooh. Nice and cold. And that would do. And there we have it, the tan put on. Feel like shit.
no waist. Hard and tight. Tightest one up on stage today. Huge hamstrings. It does cut some butt. Looking good.
Couple more hours, it'll be all over.
All the chocolate you want. Can't say you're lacking in the back department anymore. That hamstring was the best one up there. Beautiful. Beautiful, thick and wide.
That should do. Don't want to get too tired for tonight. The hotel, look at that. They love bodybuilders.
So like, we'll finish it off.
Number on the left-hand side, we're going to line up in 8 minutes. Number on the left-hand side, we're going to line up in 8 minutes.
I didn't know that.
Well, Reese now.
Somebody said we were eating.
Yeah, I know. Hi, you.
Hey, Jack! Go, guys. Number 1. Go, line up. I need the first 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Daryl? Number 3.
Number 3. Number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Täällä tai tuolla, mutta sä et pysty tulemaan enää takaisin, sä tiedät sen.
Okay, Daryl? Okay, we need the house lights now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 1997 IFBB Ironman Pro Presentation. Can we have competitors 1 through 12 on stage, please?